The sun hung low over Willow Creek estates, casting a golden glow across manicured lawns and rose beds so perfect they looked painted. This wasn't just a neighborhood, it was a showcase of wealth, where every blade of grass knew its place. Tennis balls thumped rhythmically in the distance, blending with the soft hiss of sprinklers. It was peaceful, almost too peaceful, like the calm before a storm nobody saw coming. In this polished paradise, Evelyn Harper ruled supreme. She wasn't just on the HOA board, she was the HOA, a queen in tailored blazers who treated Willow Creek like her personal kingdom. Her sharp eyes caught every misplaced trash can, every unapproved paint shade. Neighbors whispered her nickname, Karen, behind locked doors, trading eye rolls over her latest crusade, finding the Millers for a mailbox that was, in her words, a quarter-inch too tall. Last month, she forced the Thompsons to repaint their door because its sage green clashed with her sacred color palette. Wind chimes? Banned for auditory pollution. A family with kids who laughed too loudly? Quietly pushed out. Evelyn didn't charm or negotiate. She wielded the HOA bylaws like a sledgehammer. Con Wine said she alone kept Willow Creek from sliding into suburban chaos. Some grumbled about rising fees and crumbling sidewalks, but Evelyn deflected with a tight smile, blaming vendor issues. Levying quietly in this pressure cooker was Henry Kim, a gentle 79-year-old battling Alzheimer's. His small, tidy home sat on the neighborhood's quieter edge, shared with his daughter, Clara Lee, a fierce assistant attorney general who led the state's elder abuse task force. Henry had once been a force. His roses won local awards, and his tennis serve was the talk of the club. Now, his world flickered between clarity and fog. Some days, he'd grip Clara's hand, eyes bright with a memory of her childhood. Others, he'd stare at his own reflection, lost. Clara juggled her high-stakes job with caring for him, leaning on daytime caregivers, but often working from home to stay close. Lately, she'd noticed Henry pacing by the front door, a restless new habit that gnawed at her. On a sunny afternoon, Clara was buried in case files, prepping for a major trial. Her dining table was a sea of papers, depositions, financial records. Henry's caregiver, Lisa, had stepped out for a quick errand, and Clara thought Henry was napping in his favorite armchair by the garden window. A red cardinal chirped outside, its song sharp against the quiet. Maybe it was that sound or the glint of sunlight off the distant tennis courts, but something stirred in Henry. A memory flickered the weight of a racket, the thwack of a ball. His face lit with purpose. He shuffled to the front door, which, by some oversight, was unlatched. It swung open, and he stepped into the warm air, his steps slow but driven, drawn to the courts like a moth to flame. Meanwhile, Evelyn was on patrol, clipboard in hand, her cream slacks crisp as ever. She was inspecting the clubhouse grounds, where HOA funds after her relentless lobbying had resurfaced a tennis court. A newer board member had dared suggest an accessibility ramp for the steep concrete stairs leading to the courts, but Evelyn shut it down, calling it extravagant. Those 14 steps were fine. She'd sniffed for active residents. Secretly, she'd already redirected the ramp's budget to imported shrubs for the clubhouse entrance. Her eyes scanned the court's players in proper whites, hedges trimmed just so. Then she saw him, Henry, standing uncertainly at the top of the stairs, gazing at the game. His cardigan and slacks screamed outsider. To Evelyn, he was a blemish on her perfect canvas. "Excuse me." Her voice cut like a blade as she marched over, heels clicking. "This area is for players only. You can't just wander here." Henry turned, startled, his eyes cloudy but hopeful. "Tennis?" he mumbled, voice soft. "Play tennis?" Evelyn's face twisted. "Absolutely not," she snapped, stepping closer, crowding him. "This is for dues-paying members. You're lost. Leave. Now." Her tone dripped with disdain, as if Henry's presence offended her very existence. Mrs. Ellis, a kind older neighbor who often chatted with Henry on his walks, saw the scene unfold. "Evelyn, maybe he's just confused," she said gently, stepping closer. "He lives with Clara Lee on Maple Drive. He's harmless." Evelyn whirled, her glare venomous. "Stay out of this, Dorothy. This is HOA business. He's trespassing." She turned back to Henry, her voice rising. "I said leave." Henry flinched, her anger piercing his haze. He didn't understand why she was so mad. He just wanted to watch the game. Instinctively, he stepped back, his foot inching toward the stair's edge. That small retreat seemed to snap something in Evelyn. Maybe it was his defiance, or maybe he was just a convenient target for her bottled frustrations. In a horrifying flash, she lunged forward and shoved him her both hands, slamming into his chest. "Get out," she hissed. Henry stumbled, a frail cry escaping as his foot slipped off a step. He fell, tumbling down the 14 concrete stairs, his body thudding sickeningly against each edge. He landed in a crumpled heap at the bottom, still as death. Mrs. Ellis screamed, hands flying in her mouth. Tennis players froze, rackets clattering to the ground. Evelyn stood at the top, staring down, her face flickering with shock, then hardening into cold detachment. As Mrs. Ellis sobbed, Evelyn muttered just loud enough, "Natural selection." Clara, back at home, had just noticed Henry's empty chair in the open door. Panic surged. She sprinted toward the courts, knowing his love for tennis might draw him there. As she neared, she saw the silent crowd, the stricken faces, and Evelyn's rigid stance. Then she saw Henry, motionless at the stair's base. "Dad!" Her cry was raw, tearing through the air. She shoved past Evelyn, dropping beside him, her hands shaking as she checked his pulse. Shallow breaths, blood in his silver hair. An arm twisted unnaturally. "Dad, it's Clara," she whispered, tears burning but held back. She dialed 911, her voice steady despite her terror. GIVY-ing precise details. Elderly male, 79, fell down 14 concrete steps. Suspected head injury, possible fractures, witnessed assault. As paramedics were dispatched, Clara stood, her grief morphing into icy fury. She locked eyes with Evelyn, who was already composing herself, likely crafting a defense. "Evelyn Harper," Clara said, her voice low but steel-hard. "I'm Assistant Attorney General Clara Lee. My father is the man you just shoved down those stairs. As head of the Elder Abuse Task Force, I'm detaining you for felony assault on a vulnerable adult. Don't move. Don't speak." Evelyn's jaw dropped, her polished facade crumbling. The title hit like a thunderbolt. Assistant Attorney General, Elder Abuse Prosecutor. This wasn't just a distraught daughter. This was the law incarnate, and Evelyn's world began to collapse. Sirens wailed closer, and soon paramedics swarmed, stabilizing Henry with a CERVY, Cal collar and stretcher. Clara watched, torn between following him and securing the scene. She gave a concise statement to police, naming Mrs. Ellis and 2 tennis players as witnesses, her composure a shield against her anguish. Evelyn tried to bluster, claiming Henry tripped, but the witnesses' accounts were damning. Mrs. Ellis, trembling, described the shove and Evelyn's chilling words. The players confirmed the push. A detective read Evelyn her rights, and she was cuffed, her HOA empire meaningless now. At the hospital, Henry's diagnosis was grim. Fractured arm, broken ribs, a severe concussion. His Alzheimer's worsened, his lucid moments fading. Clara, by his bedside, channeled her pain into action. Suspecting Evelyn's HOA control hid more sins, she ordered a forensic audit of the association's finances, focusing on funds Evelyn controlled. The audit uncovered a bombshell. Evelyn had embezzled 6 figures over years, faking invoices, rigging contracts, and siphoning funds, including due law $15,000 meant for the ramp study she blocked. That money bought her European vacations, a luxury car, designer clothes. Her opposition to the ramp wasn't just pettiness. It protected her theft. Evelyn now faced charges of aggravated assault, reckless endangerment, embezzlement, and fraud. Her trial was a spectacle. Willow Creek residents filled the courtroom, stunned by her betrayal. Her defense claiming stress, an accidental shove, and bookkeeping errors collapsed under witness testimony and financial EVY denke. Clara testified as Henry's daughter. Her quiet words about his gentle spirit and stolen clarity moving the jury to tears. The forensic accountant traced every stolen dollar, exposing Evelyn's greed. On the stand, Evelyn unraveled, her arrogance and lack of remorse sealing her fate. The jury convicted her on all counts. At sentencing, the judge's voice dripped with contempt. "Ms. Harper, you assaulted a vulnerable man and stole from your neighbors, neglecting safety measures that could have prevented this tragedy. Your greed and cruelty know no bounds." He gave her 25 years, with limited parole, and seized her assets, house, car, investments to repay the HOA and fund a memory care wing named for Henry. The wing, the judge ordered, would serve Willow Creek's dementia patients, a lasting rebuke to Evelyn's cruelty. Henry served VY, but declined, moved to a specialized facility where Clara cited daily, holding his hand through his fading memories. Willow Creek's HOA was rebuilt, transparent and kind, shedding Evelyn's toxic legacy. Neighbors began to connect. Fear Ingwe to community. 2 years later, the Henry Kim Memorial Wing opened, its plaque a quiet symbol of justice. Clara, touching her father's name in bronze, felt sorrow but also peace. Willow Creek, scarred but healing, emerged stronger, a testament to resilience over cruelty.